After 4 years of peace with Russia under President Trump, it has taken Joe Biden and his warmongering gangsters a little over a year to put us on the brink of World War III. Well, is there a deeper motive to why the Biden administration is constantly poking the Russian bear? Well, I believe Nancy Pelosi just may have accidentally given away the entire game plan, and I can't wait to share it with you. But before I do, just a quick break. Weight management is a universal struggle, and many people wonder why weight loss becomes harder after the age of 20. What most people don't realize is that after we turn 20, our body's metabolism slows down about 4% every single decade. By the time that we're 50, we'll have a 10% or more drop in our metabolism. This is why I highly recommend BioTrust Keto Powder at KetoWithLisa.com. This amazing powder has helped me lose more weight in a short amount of time than anything else that I have tried. Much like the keto diet, this powder can help raise levels of fat-burning ketones, except without the drawbacks of cutting carbs completely. I started seeing improvements with as little as 1 scoop a day. In fact, many of my friends and family members noticed my weight loss and gave me compliments on it. This stuff has really made my weight loss easy, and it's so easy to use. All you have to do is take 1 scoop of the powder like I have here, and you can add it in your coffee, or you can even add it in your shake in the morning. I use coffee because I am a massive coffee drinker, but then all you do is stir it up, and it has little to no clumps, really doesn't really clump at all. You can't taste it. It's a tasteless powder. As you can see here, it very easily mixes in. And then all you have to do is enjoy it. Really good stuff. But if you want to check it out, all you have to do is go to KetoWithLisa.com. That's KetoWithLisa.com. They've got up to 51% off of this amazing product. And right now, they even have a 60-day money-back guarantee. So check it out right now at KetoWithLisa.com and take advantage of free shipping, free VIP health and fitness coaching, and of course, a free new e-report there. But with that, check it out at KetoWithLisa.com. And if you want more information, it's in the description box below. All right, back to the broadcast. So let's start first with how the Biden administration is constantly poking Russia in order to potentially provoke a war. Start with this first article that I found on GatewayPundit.com. Biden promises widespread human suffering in the wake of a Russia invasion. And let me just pause right there before I expand. Any war would bring massive amounts of suffering, but I digress. The article goes on to state this, and I quote, President Biden was clear that if Russia undertakes a further invasion of Ukraine, the U.S., together with our allies and partners, will respond decisively and impose swift and severe cost on Russia. President Biden reiterated that a further Russian invasion of Ukraine would produce widespread human suffering and diminish Russia's standing. President Biden was clear that while the U.S. remains prepared to engage in diplomacy in full coordination with our allies and partners, we are equally prepared for other scenarios, the readout said. Not only that, but here in the U.S., some of our, U.S. personnel, or those who are in the Biden's administration circle, are now telling us that a war could break out any day, maybe even by Wednesday, between Russia and Ukraine. Take a look at this article here on USA Today. U.S. says Russia could invade any day now. Ukraine formally asked about troop buildup, and here's what we know. The article goes on to state that Biden's top national security aide warned again on Sunday that the Russian military has the capacity to invade Ukraine this week, under that pretext of a false flag operation portraying Ukrainians as the aggressors. Quote, the way they have built up their forces, the way they have maneuvered things in places, makes it a distinct possibility that there will be a major action very, very soon. National Security Advisor and warmonger, I added that part, Jake Sullivan said during an interview on CNN's State of the Union. Not only do we have Jake Sullivan here in the United States warning of a potential war between the two countries, or between Ukraine and Russia within this week, but also take a look at this dailymail.co.uk article. And this says here, U.S. Embassy in Kiev is to be evacuated as Russia mobilizes for invasion of Ukraine on Wednesday. Biden will phone Putin from Camp David at 11 o'clock
in a last-ditch effort to avoid war. It goes on. Russia could launch an attack on Ukraine as early as next Wednesday, February 16th, according to respected German publicator Der Spiegel. American intelligence services briefed NATO allies of a possible impending Russian invasion against its western neighbor in a series of secret briefings. The Secret Service and even the CIA and the Pentagon are all said to have received credible information that was passed along to the federal government, reports the German newspaper. The data was said to be exceptionally detailed with information stating specific routes that might be taken by individual Russian units and what roles they might play in that conflict. Despite, there's a little disclaimer here, the detail contained in the plan, it is impossible to know for sure whether an attack is indeed imminent. In other words, well, they're reporting that it could come as soon as Wednesday, but they're not sure. Okay, I got this. Sounds like a lot of warmongering going on. Sounds like a lot of talk of war. It sounds like there's a lot of provoking. But what would be the reason for something like that? And I can't wait to show you a clip by Nancy Pelosi that might just hit at why. But before I do, I want to bring up one important point here. Over in Ukraine, Ukrainians' leader is asking, what the hell is going on? Take a look at this Breitbart News article. Ukraine's leader asked for evidence on new invasion warnings. Where's the evidence? Show me the proof. What are you talking about? Because I don't know anything about an invasion. And here's what he says. And I quote, "We understand all the risk. We understand that there are risks," he said in a live broadcast. "If you or anyone else has additional information regarding a 100% Russia invasion starting on the 16th, please forward that information to us." So here we have the leader of Ukraine literally saying, where's the evidence for that? Can somebody please show me? Here's another report on Breitbart News. Ukraine, Zelensky says no information on imminent Russian war. Tells Joe Biden, why don't you come on over here? Come to our country. Ukrainian President Zelensky invited his American counterpart, Joe Biden, to Kiev to see for himself the absence of any imminent threat of war. In a conversation on Sunday after telling reporters, officials in his country, that there was no evidence to support the panic in the White House about an alleged imminent Russian invasion. The Biden administration and the president personally have spent much of the years predicting that the government of Russia, Vladimir Putin, has decided to invade and colonize the entire nation of Ukraine, citing the presence of Russian troops on Ukraine's eastern border. Russia already invaded and colonized a sizable portion of Ukraine in 2014 when Biden was VP, and has continued to colonize Ukraine's Crimea region uninterrupted since then. Interesting. So here we have Zelensky saying, can I have some evidence, please? I don't know what's going on. You're saying there's going to be a war on Wednesday or like sometime this week and widespread disaster. Can you, I need something. I need something. Lots of warmongering going on. But here's a kicker. Nancy Pelosi appeared in an ABC News this week. And in her interview, she was asked about, well, what's going on with Ukraine and Russia? And she has a very peculiar answer. I'm going to play the clip for you first. Take a listen to it.
The White House is warning of an imminent invasion of Ukraine. The Ukrainians seem to think that that's all hype. Do you believe that Putin is poised to invade?
Well, I think we have to be prepared for it, and that is what the president is. Yes, I do believe that he is prepared for an invasion. I also understand why the president of Ukraine wants to keep people calm and that he wants his economy not to suffer. But on the other hand, if we were not threatening the sanctions and the rest, it would guarantee that Putin would invade. Let's hope that the diplomacy works. It's about diplomacy deterrence, and the president has made it very clear. There's a big price to pay for Russia to go there. So if Russia doesn't invade, it's not that he never intended to. It's just that the sanctions
Are you
worked.
convinced that?
So Nancy Pelosi says something very critical there, right? She says this. She says, well, if it wasn't for the Biden administration putting down life-threatening sanctions on Russia, then Russia would have already invaded. So therefore, she says, if Russia doesn't invade, it won't be because of anything other than the fact that Joe Biden put sanctions on Russia. Thereby, if there is no war between Russia and Ukraine, Biden is the savior. That's what she said. So in other words, is this kind of a game plan? I'm just asking the question to where she and the Democrats are bolstering up this war between Russia and Ukraine and poking the Russian bear in order to make Biden look good amid his failing numbers. He failed in Afghanistan. He failed on the COVID crisis. He's failing in the economy. He's failing in the supply chain crisis. Everything is going to crap, and the midterm elections are on the line. So let's find a way to make Biden look good, because if there is no war, give a attaboy pat on the back. She's very proud of the work that Joe Biden has done stopping a war, by the way, where Zelensky, the leader of Ukraine, is like, I don't see what's going on here. Is there a deeper plan here? Is there more to the story? Is this why we're hearing constant talk and rhetoric of war? And meanwhile, here's what Putin had to say in response, if you will. Take a look at this article on The Sun. Armed and ready, Putin doesn't give an SHIT, S-word, about sanctions, said the ambassador, as Russia moves attack helicopters to the Ukraine border. In other words, it doesn't have to do with Joe Biden at all, what they're doing. But meanwhile, is there a potential of war between Russia, Ukraine, the United States igniting into World War III? Absolutely. I still think the potential's there because we keep poking and pushing at a nuclear country. Here's just the latest example of what I'm talking about here. And this is on the JerusalemPost.com. It says Russia says a U.S. submarine violated its waters in the Far East. And this is very recent, February 13th. The article goes on to state a Russian naval vessel chased away a U.S. submarine in Russian waters in the Pacific after the submarine ignored a Russian order to surface. Interfax news agency cited the defense ministry as saying on Saturday. The Russia ministry called in the U.S. defense after complaining that the submarine had entered its waters. The RIA news agency reported tensions between Moscow and Russia are already high over a Russia military buildup in Ukraine. So that's the bottom line. It seems like the Biden administration's, I'll let you be the deciding factor on that, their motivation for war is to make Biden look good. Because if there's not a war, he's the savior. He did it. Yay for Biden. Meanwhile, they're literally provoking a nuclear country and could lead us into actual World War III. Anyhow, I'd love to get your thoughts, comments, and concerns. Please make sure you're still subscribed to the channel here. They've been removing people en masse. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.